All right.
All right, sir.
So that's that's
Thank
what
you,
you will
sir.
hear to make you know that there's a recording on Zoom. If you join any
Yes, sir.
session and you possibly don't hear that, it's most likely not being recorded.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. So how do we go? You're the boss.
Okay, sir. What I discovered, sir, is that okay, we actually have more than 400 participants on our WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
We have 3 different WhatsApp groups, and like I told you earlier, sir, this is our 10th master class for the year. We started in March, so we've been doing it monthly since March. However, this is the first time we are taking it off WhatsApp.
Oh, no wonder. So that's
So,
why people can
in fact, I just sent data to someone now that said that he did WhatsApp subscription. You know, it's some of us are still in Nigeria. Pardon us, sir.
Don't worry, everything is a process in time.
Yes, sir.
It's a process in time. I was trying to show you guys something. Well, for those who are able to make it, that's great. We can also share the recorded video at the end of the meeting. I want to show you something. If you could look at my camera, please try and do that. Look at my screen to see what you're seeing. You just look at it carefully. So I'll ask a question in just. Did you notice anything? Who noticed something? So look at what you're observing currently, and then look again. What did you notice? Did we notice anything differently?
Different.
Yeah. So I would talk about the excellence of the color, the texture of the color. Did you notice anything
Yes.
differently?
Yes. Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
What are you seeing currently? You see like lights in different arrays, like I'm being overshadowed with light, and
Yes.
the flower is still there. Everything is there structurally looking well. But if you look again now, you will see a bigger, bolder picture, more
Yes.
richness to the color, more richness
Yes.
to the color of my face, and even to the color of
Yes.
the flower. You understand?
Yes.
Let's say I decide
Yes.
to change the color of the side of the flower. Now you would see more richness to the green, to the red, even to the
Yes.
jacket I'm putting on.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I intentionally just wanted to show you that to make you understand that once there's change in leadership, you will see changes in the elegance, the excellence, the brightness in things. That is why that you can underestimate the value of a coach, a mentor, a leader. One of the key lessons I'm learning in life is teachability. The higher you go, it almost seems like the less teachable you become, but you have to consciously make sure you're more teachable. It has to be a conscious process, because the more you think you are now not teachable, but unfortunately, that's the point where you should become better as an adapted to a life of being teachable. So learning, it's an unending task if you're going to be on the journey of excellence or greatness. Chance can make you successful, but it will take a deep sacrifice for you to become great. So that's just on the side. How do you want us to do it? I'm sure everyone has listened to the link. I hope I'm correct. Mr. Damilola Adigun, Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Goodness, and I think Miss Barakat Adejumo. I hope we have all listened to the video.
Yes, sir.
All right, great.
Yes,
I think so great to hear you guys.
Sorry, I haven't listened to the link.
You have not listened.
Yes, please.
Okay, then Mr. Ibrahim A. Amuda. Hello. Okay, so Mr. Debo, how do you want it to go? Because if we have to go over the video, that means we're talking about the next 1 to 2 hours.
No, we can't go over the video. The video has been shared already.
Okay.
What will happen, sir? What I'm suggesting, sir, is that we have the video. We can, the persons that have not gone through the video yet, we need to do that later. That's why Mr. Damilola was trying to do a like a 10-minute recap of points he was able to pick before you joined, sir.
Oh, that's impressive. That's impressive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is
So
it
maybe
done?
we should still allow him to continue.
Exactly.
No, sir, he's not. So maybe we should. Okay. Should I continue from my hand? Because the truth of the matter is, if we say Dr. Joshua should do it, he might just go, he might just he might just go over the video again and we'll still be here in an hour. So maybe I should continue the recap from where you paused, sir. Is that okay?
Yeah, please continue the recap, and then let's have a question and answer session. So if
Okay.
you have any personal question or anything you just need an extra thought about, or even general life challenges or anything, let's just share ideas together. It might not necessarily be narrowed to this, so I'll be more than glad, but I'll be here listening.
Okay. So I will also share the link to Dr. Joshua's YouTube channel with us, because the truth of the matter is, this is not the only very useful video you will see on his YouTube channel. So that means we can still go over some other things. Now, where Mr. Damilola paused the other time, or let me just do a brief recap. Now, Dr. Joshua mentioned that the world needs leaders who will carry light, life, and love. Because the truth of the matter is, at the moment, there is darkness in the world, there is lack of life. There are people, according to him, there are people that can die at 70, but they didn't really live beyond age 25, which is why we have, sometimes we see parents, we see elderly people that are depressed, that are sad, and they take their frustrations upon even their children. And of course, the fact that the world also lack love, the way love is supposed to take the lead in the world. Mr. Damilola has earlier mentioned that when we talk about the world, there is 70% of people that are just looking for convenience. To them, they think money is the problem. To them, they think maybe just not stepping on people's toes, just following and blaming leaders. That is the way out. But one way or the other, we are not leaders of tomorrow. That's one of the lies that we should not allow to sink into us. We are leading now. And if we are not active about doing that, then it's a shame. Then 25%, 20 to 25% of people are efficiency-driven people. Already, they are personally driven. They are trying the best that they can. They are leading in their sphere. But the best is to be part of the 5 to 10% transformed minds. That's where we should be aspiring to get to. So he also mentioned that there are different types of minds in the world at the moment: damaged minds, deceased minds, dead minds, dangerous minds, dark minds, disorderly minds, and what have you. Then he mentioned that we should not be emotional. Of course, people will be emotional, but true leaders that have transformed mind don't lead by emotion. Followers can be emotional. So leaders are not people that when they act and they ask him that or her that why did you do what you did, and the only thing they will say is that's how I feel like. We are not to be led by our emotion as leaders. And then leaders are not entitled people. Followers can be entitled. Followers can say the reason they have failed is because they are in Nigeria. But somebody that is a true leader knows that Nigeria is not his or her problem. Then he also mentioned that we should move from being socialized and convenience seeking minds to the transformed mind. So he shared a statistics about the approval rate of leaders worldwide. Either people are doing excellently well or not. Followers will always disapprove leaders. And that's one thing I'm getting to learn more and more by the day, that if you are the firstborn of a family, somehow your siblings think you are doing a poor job and that maybe they should have been the firstborn. If you are the leader in a student fellowship, in an NGO, in a volunteering organization, somehow some people think I would have done it better if I'm there. So these are very hard times, according to him, to lead, despite the amount of leadership training platforms available. We live presently in a world with increasing expressions. People want to easily express themselves. And what they express most of the time is not their approval. What they express more prominently is their disapproval and the fact that they are not happy about something. People are now more emotional. When they are happy, you can see it. When they are unhappy too, they show it for everybody to see. Unfortunately, people now have higher expectations about others, not about them now. They expect a lot from others, but when it comes to themselves, they tell themselves, I cannot kill myself. I've tried enough. Again, exposures. People are now more and more exposed, and that's part of what the world of today has become. And of course, people are now more educated too. So he also mentioned that we need to create a world that is ruled with identity, with passion, with legacy, with orderliness, with diligence, with discipline, with wisdom, and that it's very important for us to be able um, to read our environment. And after reading our environment, we go ahead to adapt intelligently to the happenings around us. He mentioned that that change really is not about creating change, but change is in being able to read what is happening and then capitalize on it. That was actually what Buhari did in 2015. It looks as if Nigerians were tired with Jonathan administration, and they capitalized on that. But we have realized now that it's not looking like we are in a better situation, really, in 2021 than we were in 2014 or 2015, as the case may be. He also mentioned that our identity is who we are in our soul, and that your soul is made up of your conscious mind, that is your mental and thinking capacity, your subconscious mind, that is your heart, as the seat of your emotions and feelings, and your will, which is involved in your acting. So he mentioned that we are spirits, we have soul, and we live in a body. And when we talk about body, we are talking about the five senses, our systems, our organs and cells, the brains and the nerves. When we are talking about the soul, we are talking about your personality, your thinking, your reasoning, your beliefs, your attitude, your feelings, your emotions, your memories. And then when we are talking about your spirit, we are talking about what gives meaning, purpose to your life. And we are talking about love. So that means in spirit, we are talking about meaning, purpose, and love. In soul, we are talking about your thinking, your reasoning, will, choices, beliefs, attitude, feelings, emotions, and memories. And when we are talking about body, the five senses, the cells, the organisms, the brains, the nerves. Now, the thinking plus reasoning is your conscious mind. Then the belief, attitudes, feelings, emotions, and memories is your subconscious mind. You see, you hear, you judge, you think, and you choose with your mind. So that means what we need to do is to check that our mind is not corrupt, is not dead, is not damaged, is not diseased, is not dangerous, is not corrupt, is not disorderly. So he also mentioned that we see with our minds, actually. We don't see with our eyes. We hear with our mind. We don't hear with our ears. So 3 people can hear the same thing and they give different meanings to it. 3 people can see the same thing and they give different meanings to it. So that's the reason why something happens to someone, one person takes full responsibility, another person blames his parents, another person blames the government, another person blames the system or the organization that he or she belongs to. So the major battle is for you to work on your mind. The major battle is for you to work on your soul. So then he went on to tell us that there are identity questions that we need to answer. Where are you from? Why are you here? Who are you? What can you do? Where are you going? Then he now went on to talk about your core identity. That your core identity is who you are without your title, who you are without your positions, who you are without money, who you are without recognition, fame, or popularity, who you are without your achievements, your certificates, or your educational qualifications, who you are without your outward adornment, who you are without makeups, without expensive clothes, without jewelries, and what have you. So your identity is the amount of health, peace, stability, and harmony in your inner core being, without all the external and outward stuff that you think is who you are. So he went on to say that you need to answer the question of who you are sincerely, and let that be the guiding principle, because you will need to have core values. You will need to have something that guides your canoe so that it does not capsize as you are going through the journey of life. Then he also mentioned, okay, during the question and answer session, I will ask him about this. I need more explanation about the 5th column that you mentioned, sir. But before that, let me just go ahead. He also went on to talk about the importance of wisdom, beliefs, faith, core values, passion, leadership, capacities. That these are important building blocks for us to have a very strong identity. The world cannot have too many of people that have a strong identity. What people pay for is actually your own strong identity. When, for instance, you hear of how much that the best, maybe the best footballer or the best basketballer or the best musician or the best public speaker earn in a day, in a week, in a month, for instance, it shows us how they have worked seriously on having a strong identity. They know who they are and they work seriously on improving who they are. He also talked about the importance of discipline. Most of us need to work seriously. I personally know that I need to work more on how disciplined I am as an individual. And I want to assume and guess that all of us, or most of us, also need to do the same thing. So he went on to say discipline means to instruct, to correct, to chastise, or to rebuke. But not only that you are instructing, correcting, chastising, or rebuking, but it is towards achieving a set goal. So that means there is a set goal you want to achieve, and because of that, you need discipline. So discipline has important roles that it plays in our life, and without it, there is a little we'll be able to do. As I try to round up, because I won't be able to actually continue talking. If I am to continue, maybe at the end of the day, I will use 30 minutes to summarize the thing too. So he also mentioned the important pillars that builds America. That just like how we talked about a strong identity, that these are things that America was known for while building America as a country, and it has helped them. The first is investment in infrastructure. The second is investment in education. The third is investment in government-funded research. The fourth is setting rules for capital formulation. That is how you earn your money, how you invest your money, how you save your money, how you budget your money. And the last thing, as the fifth pillar, is a very strong immigration policy. America has a way of harvesting the best brains into the country to further grow and develop America. Same thing, China is doing the same thing. China now is being built on three pillars. First is education, second is character, and then the third is heavy investment into production and infrastructure. So this is where I will pause. I encourage us, if you are on the platform, if you are on the Ploutos Consult platform, take time later to go through the video. It will do you a lot of good. It will do you a lot of good. And subscribe to Dr. Joshua's YouTube channel. I am sure you are going to find it very, very useful. All of us, I'm happy that our own generation will solve to a reasonable extent. We solve a box of the leadership crisis that Nigeria is undergoing. The major problem Nigeria has is leadership, nothing more. Nothing more. So for me, that's where I will pause. I don't know if Mr. Adamlola still wants to say anything before we now go to the question and answer segment, because this is around 9:30 or thereabouts already, and I'm hoping that the session will be able to end by 10 p.m. Nigeria time. I'm hoping. So Mr. Adamlola, do you have anything before we go to the question and answer section for Dr. Joshua?
Okay, yeah, just to back what you said up, we need to just take care of our soul, just like you mentioned. So our soul is very, very important. I got to realize that everything we see in the physical actually pass through three different stages. From your soul, then that's when you're thinking about it in your mind. Then when you say it out in form of words before it actually manifests. So if our soul is in right and a good state, we will always be productive at all times. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there are questions that we've gotten so far for you, sir, Dr. Joshua. I think
I would love to have them.
so, and I will start with Mr. Damilola. You have some questions from your study of the video. You've gotten questions for Dr. Joshua. So just go ahead and ask your question. I think he has 4 questions. I have 2 questions. So I don't know if any other person, maybe after that, if there is any other person that has watched the video and you have questions, or you have questions around leadership. Dr. Joshua is somebody that is at home around leadership. Any question at all that you have, I'm sure that the ability to answer is actually there. So, Mr. Damilola, you can go ahead with your own questions first, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. My question is, how can we actually, I need more understanding in that regard. How can we actually combine the conscious mind, the subconscious, and the will for action to determine our personal identity, sir?
Okay, so well, let me first start by saying this is also a learning opportunity for me. So we're learning together. And I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's a very great question. Thank you so much. And if I understand you clearly, you're looking at how to align the will with the conscious and the subconscious mind, because that is only when you get clarity of action. Anytime the three does not align, you cannot arrive at what you call clarity of thinking or clarity of action. And once there's no clarity, that's why you see people slowing down. The things you have always that you've done ever in life were simply because they aligned. Somehow, one part of the three. Okay, let me get it this. Let me explain it this way. The conscious mind is filled more with knowledge. The subconscious mind is the home of more of emotions, the way you feel. Now, your will is the one that acts when you eventually come to terms with a pathway to go. Now, the subconscious mind has a very funny way it works, and I need you to guard that part of your life very cleverly. It can, because it's based on emotions, and because by the evolution of man, that's the biological evolution of man, the emotional part of a man is stronger than we call something in biology the cortex. That's the part of the brain that is responsible for thinking and higher cognitive action. The emotional part has a way of overshadowing that part. So if you're not careful, most of our reactions are initially from your subconscious mind. And that is why people commonly refer to that as you are in your heart, not in your brain. As you are in your heart, the brain is now the neocortex part. If you can subdue, if you're matured enough to now be calm, to subdue that heart, and now always allow your brain to take charge, then you would have an alignment between your brain, your heart, and then your will be able to take charge of something that is logical, scientifically sound. Now, I don't want us to limit it to just scientifically sound. I need you to also know that there is a part of man that is beyond the general intelligence, and that's the spiritual dimension of your intelligence. That's a little bit above your mental intelligence. That comes like a revelation. That comes like when you get an idea. And so that I don't mix too much words and I don't want to confuse you, I want to help you know that the day you are able to grow your mind to the point where you can align your spiritual intelligence with your mental intelligence, and you can gain control over the emotions in your heart, then you will be able to align your identity as one. That's the day people will meet you and they will say, he is a man of character. That means you have been able to deal with the excesses of your emotion. Emotions has its own good parts, but it must be subdued if you will become great. So I know I will still talk more about it. So please, I'm open to other questions.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. I hope I'm able to clear something for you.
Yes, sir. Very well, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
My second question is, in your video, you talked about disruption and innovation. Can you please shed more light on that, please, sir?
Disruption and innovation. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
I'm actually a student of the late Clayton Christensen of the Harvard Business School. And so when you want to talk about number one man as our 2019, I think he died January 2020. As our 2019, if you want to talk about the number one man in the whole world about disruption and innovation, you will be talking about Clayton Christensen. And he defined innovation as something that occurs in 3 levels. So you are either innovating in terms of disruption, that is, you're changing completely the way we do things. So I will give examples from 3 different fields of life so that you will understand me. The first field of life, you don't know it because we're probably of African descent, but I'll use it to explain so that you can imagine how things had evolved. Do you know that there was a time in life where people actually go to the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole? They go to harvest ice. They go with jigsaws and hammers and chisels. They go to harvest ice and bring it to the community to sell. A time came, some people said, why do we have to travel that far? What they decided to do is they built ice factory within communities. I wish I had some pictures of some ice factory around my place. I will snap it one of these days and I'll drop it on the group so that you can see an example of a smaller ice factory. And the funniest thing was they developed it, they built it just like you're building a building, and they reduced the temperature to the point that hives were being formed in, and they started selling in the community. That's another group. The third group said, instead of going to the community to buy, we will build a smaller box. It will be called a refrigerator. Now, disruption is when someone changes completely what we're doing before. We don't have to travel to the poles again. Now it is the community. Now we don't even have to travel to the community again. I can be inside my house and have a small box that is also operating on the same principle, but the drama that is associated with it is different. That's in terms of eyes. Another example is our computing power. You've heard about the popular mainframe that maybe they had a copy in Harvard, a copy in MIT, and Nigeria didn't bother to have a copy. We evolved to mini frames that is just the size of a room. The mainframe is like big, it's like a whole building. The mini frame is a smaller version, it's like a room size. Initially, when disruption happens, people will underestimate it. But disruption would always come around. So if you're in a big business now, someone is under you that is coming up to disrupt you. It's just a matter of time. It's a natural process of life. And that's why change is not what you will orchestrate. It's what you must read carefully and align with. Now, there's a second part of innovation that is called sustaining innovation. And there is third part of it that's called efficiency innovation. Now, when you have made a refrigerator, you can keep improving from LG refrigerator to Chester freezers to different forms of freezers. That is sustaining the innovation that some people have discovered from disruption. Like now, we have moved from mainframe to mini frame, from mini frame to a desktop, from desktop to laptop, from laptops to cell phones. So we can have better kinds of cell phone. That's sustaining the innovation. Better kinds of laptops, sustaining the innovation. But disruption is what brought the idea of the laptop. And efficiency now means, how can we get to use this phone to achieve better results in our work by reducing time and reducing cost? Reducing time and reducing cost. Anything that goes after that kind of system is efficiency innovation. So the way I present it to people as a leader is that if you cannot disrupt, make sure you are sustaining. If you cannot sustain, make sure you are looking for an efficient way to get things done in your environment. Either of the three forms of innovation will lead you to transformation and will make you a leader.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. I hope I'm able to clear something again.
Yes, very well, sir. Very well. Great. All right, I have two more questions from my end
Yeah,
here.
please, go ahead.
What actions can we take when a leader is not accountable?
I didn't get that. What action can you take when
A leader is not accountable?
Okay, just like the principle of innovation, we need to also understand that the exit of a leader is time bound. So running around the street and saying end SARS, end Buhari, end this thing may not make sense in a way, a dimension when you look at it. Because by the order of life, according to time, every leader is bound to expire by time. Every form of leadership or class of this thing. However, this is where the challenge is. For some, the damage they would create if you allow them to wait till the end of their term may become irreparable. So that's a secondary part. People have tried revolution in time past. People have tried different methods. But one thing I want you to know is that the best way when a leader is not accountable for you is for you to start developing yourself as a leader, learning from the non-accountability of that leader, because before you know it, you're already a disruption that is going to happen to that leader. So there's a generation coming behind now that is going to actually disrupt the guys in Nigeria. So wise men don't see the use of force. They just allow time. And they know that for the crop of people that are currently around, they will be developing themselves. Some in revelation will be coming to them. They will keep growing themselves. And before they know it, they will be the one to go and disrupt the non-accountable leaders. If you look at the cycle of life, a money maker will give birth to a money spender. A money spender will give birth to a money waster. A money waster will give back to a money maker again. Except a conscious effort is made to alter this cycle. In life, as in business, inflation will always follow deflation. Except a conscious effort is put in place. So what you should do is, once you have a leader in place who is not accountable, all you other guys that understand what accountability means to go and start developing yourself. A time will come, something will disrupt him, and you will take charge. God will help you that you are not like him, so that you don't continue the cycle. I hope you understand. And thank you for that very brilliant question. It's a good one.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, the last question.
The last questions. Okay, this one is business related.
Yeah,
so I just want
go
to
ahead.
ask, like, you talked about part of the virtues of a leader. You talked about trust, and you talked about trust. You talked about accountability, and some other key virtues, and truthfulness. So I want to ask, in a situation whereby a business is based on trust, like a business dealings is based on trust, and it goes sideways. So what are the possible remedies for that instead of a proper written agreement, sir?
Okay, let me clarify something. Trust does not mean there should be no documentation. And documentation inadvertent does not mean there's trust.
Okay.
That's number one. Then number two is that you're most likely going to attract someone of a similar trust level with you, except you get lucky in a way. Because it's your kind of character that should beckon on the character of the other person. Let me rephrase it this way. As at the time of marriage, because marriage for me seemed like the greatest level of trust beyond even business. As at the time of marriage, there's nothing as a wise husband and a foolish wife. So if a man marries a girl and gets home and starts saying you are foolish, inadvertently he's saying I am also foolish. Because if you are wise, you should be wise enough to know that she's foolish and prevent the marriage. So there shouldn't have been a business ab initio if you're actually wiser than the other person. Except in your own wisdom too. It has turned to intelligence and you want to use intelligence to cheat the other person. Or the other person wants to cheat you. And that's the realm of intelligence, in a way, the negative part of intelligence. So this is what I'm saying in essence, so that I don't get you confused, please. Before you go into any structured form of business or system, the person you're going into it must have a character representation before you even agree to go into it. The mistake we often make as young minds is that we always think every opportunity belongs to us. You know, they tell you catching on every opportunity. I agree with them, but the one thing they fail to tell you is that there is actually some specific opportunities for you, not every opportunity. But in the magnanimity of life, several opportunities will rush your way in life. You don't own all opportunities. If you listen to the segment of the video where I spoke about battle reading very well, when you are in a battle reading, in a disciplined reading with life, your frequency will match a specific opportunity. And that is the opportunity that is for you. If you pick up any other opportunity that is not for you, it will throw you off course. By the time you are latching with your battle, there will be alignment in place of trust. There will be alignment in the place of dignity, and there'll be very few casualty. And just to wrap up my sentence, the concept you call trust is what love is resting on. Their trust is broken, love is gone. Therefore, I present to you that trust comes from a man who is competent, who has character, who has compassion, and who has consistency. Once you can't find these 4 attributes in a man, please don't enter into a contract with that person.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. And I know I know it might sound a lot theoretical, but let me tell you, if you look at your life practically well, out of the last 10 opportunities that came your way, you watch carefully, only 1, 2, or at most 3 were excellently well. The others ran you into many other troubles that were unnecessary. If you could just have the revelation or the vision to avoid them. Life, apart from all the knowledge, the everything you would have, you must understand that leadership also has something to do with seasons, with cycles, with patterns, and with principles. When they say pattern, it means something that comes according to a frequency. So it means not every opportunity to talk is an opportunity for you to talk. Not every opportunity to listen is an opportunity for you to listen. Not every opportunity to invest is an opportunity for you to invest. There is a specific one for you. That's the one you should look out for in all your finding. And that is the place of wisdom, understanding, and battle rhythm. I hope you understand me cleverly well, and I will appreciate the feedback.
Yes, I do understand.
All right, thank you so much.
Over to you, Mr. Michael.
Okay, sir. Dr. Joshua, thank you so much, sir, for that video. I was telling Mr. Damilola, we actually reviewed the video together. Okay. So that's why we were able to get a number of questions for you. I have 3 questions myself.
All right.
Okay, and the first is what I mentioned already. I think you also typed that already.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget it. That's why.
Yes, I actually. Yes, so that's my first question. I actually want to understand the concept.
All right. So the concept stemmed from it was a Spanish war. I think around either the First World War or the Second World War. There was a Spanish general who wanted to capture a city. And so, you know, as a general in the army, what you'll be expecting is how will he bombard the city? So he arranged his battalion from the north, from the west, from the east, and from the south. And they were advancing towards the city. So a friend of his walked to him and said, wow, what a strategy. I've never seen an excellent strategy like this before. You want to capture a city, you are bombarding it from 4 angles. There's no way they would escape. And he said, well, those four are just the external guys that will just advance on the city. But I have actually won the city. And the guy was like, how? He said, I've won the city because I already have a 5th column that is inside the city that is supposed to cause the city to auto-destroy itself, to auto-implode from inside. Every greatness that is not managed with discipline will auto-destroy from inside. What I'm saying inadvertently is that with every good thing comes an inch of the 5th column that has already come with it, that once you don't carefully manage it, it will auto-destroy itself. Judas is the 5th column in the business of Jesus. And your role as a leader is to always scan your environment for the 5th column, and anybody can turn to the 5th column. Peter could have been. Anyone can become. And that's if you're looking at your team. But even within you as a leader, there is a disease in your mind, in your soul, that may also be your own undoing. The 5th column, that you need to work assiduously every day to guide against. So every one of us on this platform, the fifth colon is not supposed to get us scared. It's an imperfection that is created with the existence of greatness that should keep greatness on its toes, so that you will know that eternal vigilance is the price of freedom, so that you will keep strengthening yourself. You will not relax at any point, because automatically in every system, there is designed inside it a fifth colon that can destroy. That is why you can't run life with a basic reading, I don't care attitude, complacency, apathy. A business person, if you need to call 10 customers a day, you better be calling 12. You better be calling 15. If you're a student, if you're supposed to read 5 chapters a day, you better be reading 6, because there's a fifth colon inside you that once you relax a bit, it is ready to destroy you. Empires, territories, organizations, nations, families, institutions, they get destroyed by their fifth colon. All the external pressure you are complaining about, I don't have this, I don't have that, they are external. Those ones, you can succeed without them. The most important one that you must be sensitive about, if you're going to take anything away from this, please always don't forget that around you, within you, is a fifth colon concept that every day you must deal with, because imperfection is an attribute of this world. So you can't relax. You can't afford to say, let me go and play, let me go and enjoy or have fun. You understand? It's a funny concept when you say that, because the efficiency and the convenience people, they will enjoy having fun. But if you're a transformer, you would understand the place and the position of fun. And your fun will be about achievement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. My second question, you mentioned at the beginning of the video that even though that particular video is about 1 hour 36 minutes, you mentioned that it was the compressed version.
Yes, please.
That it's actually a series, that the Leading Your World is a series. So I want to know, I guess that all the parts should be available on your channel. Then how many parts is the video, so that members, our community members on Ploutos Consult, will know how many parts the video is, so that we can be able to access everything, sir.
All right, so it's actually a series on the channel currently. You would have the first series talking about the introduction and identity, and then I divide into two afterwards: discipline and diligence, wisdom and orderliness, and then I've not done the final one, which is leadership and legacy. And okay, I'm also working with another media consultant currently to run it as a radio series. That'll be 15 minutes each. And I would start from identity, discipline, diligence, wisdom, orderliness, then leadership and legacy. Once that is up, you would also both listen to it as a radio, on the radio in Kwara State, and it would also be available on the YouTube channel. So, but currently, if you go on the channel, you will see Leading Your World Series 1, Series 2, and I think Series 3.
Okay. Okay, sir. My last question. Okay, let me say it's even 2 questions. It's supposed to be a single question, but it's divided into 2. So let me ask it as 2 separate questions then, sir.
Okay, please.
The first one, as someone that you grew up in Nigeria too, you left Nigeria like 2-3 years ago. What is your
January?
Yes, 3 years ago. What is your view about the major problem that you think we have in Nigeria? Is it followership or is it leadership, sir?
Okay. I think I would love to start this way. one thing we're not conscious about is that we're a product of the generations before us. If you want to solve,
Mr. Joshua, can you please mute your mic, sir? I think we are distracted a bit.
okay.
I mean Joshua in
Yeah, I know.
not
Unwa
yes.
Igwe or something.
Yes.
Inwa Igwe. Yeah, let me see if I can mute him.
Okay.
Where's the settings?
Yes, you have done that, sir.
Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so basically we need to first get it that we are a product of a generation. A generation has lived before us.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And now
Yes,
we are a continuum to also
Yes.
give birth to another generation. So we are in a continuous chain. We must first get that clearly. And the reason why I cannot compare myself with Mr. Oniide is that he's also in another chain from his own lineage. Mr. Damilola is in another chain. In my own lineage now, I am the first graduate. But in another person's lineage, they're probably like the 7th graduate. So I need you to first understand that basics. So anywhere you find yourself in the world, that will be a reality to your world. So either you find yourself in Barcelona, London, this thing. So you can find a fool currently that is a millionaire. And you will be wondering. So when you ask about Davido, you will hear that his dad had made millions of dollars even years before he was around.
Yes.
And so the problem we enter into is that we get into competition subtly, subconsciously with people around us, forgetting that the goal is the competition against ourselves. The better version of yourself. That should be your goal. And not be distracted by the fact that they come to meet you and say, Mr. Akinjare has made $14 million. As a leader, you must know that wealth is not only money. And that's like even the weakest form of money. Your character, your brand, your intelligence, your health. All these things are forms of wealth. And some people get rich by inheritance. Some people get rich by getting married to a rich person. Some people get rich by getting favored. Some people get in by just athletic intelligence. That body intelligence. They can swim, they can play soccer, they can. And so you cannot compare yourself. What you should be make your goal as a leader. And that is the lesson I've learned across the world. Now, looking at the nation as a limiting factor is another category of issue on its own. But I want you to know that as of yesterday, I was still in an homeless shelter in downtown Fort Worth, and we have hundreds and hundreds of people given birth to in the United States of America into a wealthy family that are currently homeless. Homeless, dejected, and sleeping beside the road. So I'm sure any one of us on this platform still has a place to put our head tonight. They probably will sleep in the cold. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that you will understand that even your mindset, the ability for you to learn, to keep learning, is also a form of wealth, and is also a form of leadership. So all in all, when you want to compare and say, okay, leadership, success, greatness across the whole world, I think, Mr. Michael, you should mute. Except when you want to speak. Yeah. So when you want to compare all these across the whole world, it rests on these 4 principles. And please, if you have biro, you please do well to write them down. Focus, consistency, strength, and then maturity. focus, consistency, strength, and maturity. When someone picks a focus, an area of influence in life, and they sit down with it with focus, with great strength of consistency, and they keep growing their strength in it, they will eventually become successful in it. So, Mr. Debo, even if I had sat down in Nigeria and I just focus on just selling trees, and I mean those who sell Paco or something, wood, and I'm focused about it, consistently growing my strength in it, improving my capacity, trying to innovate and become better on my method of selling, of harvesting it and selling it, I will soon become a master of art in it, and I will make great wealth. Those are just the 4 key things. Either you find yourself in China. So what did I do as a person? I'm a medical doctor. I specialize in quality improvement, and I make sure consistently every of my certification, my academic leaning had been on leadership and quality improvement. So if you meet me, I am unifocused in that area. So if you wake me up in the middle of the night and you want to talk about leadership, quality improvement, I am at home. And I'm growing my capacity day to day. And as I'm enrolled in Johns Hopkins, and even before finishing a program, I've enrolled for the next program. I keep developing myself. I have exams, I keep writing, studies, people I follow diligently, who are leaders in that field, who are written articles, written several things. I listen to them, listen to their YouTube channel consistently, to their debates. That is how to grow your capacity. So what distinguishes leaders anywhere in the world is your ability to remain focused, to be consistent, to grow your capacity. It is while you're growing your capacity that your realm will start changing. Your wealth will change. Your ability to take responsibility and faithfulness will change. And then you'll become a master in that thing, and life will reward you handsomely for it. Thank you. I hope I answered your
Thank
question.
you, sir. Yes, sir. You did, sir.
All right.
Ayodele Itsunola, please, I think you need to mute your mic too.
I've muted.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Him, I don't know if he's.
So the last question, sir. Nigeria at the moment is okay. Let me rephrase it. We believe presently, or it's the general view presently, that if you are a Christian, or even in some cases, if you are a Muslim and you are a good one, part of where you should run away from seriously in Nigeria is politics. But in the case that we have realized that outside the power in God's hand, political power is like the next most important form of leadership that one can get. What is your view on the fact that if you are a Christian or if you are a Muslim and you are a good one, the political system is corrupt, so please just run away from it? If they are gathered in a particular place, ensure that you are in another place that is so far away from that place. What is your view on that, and what do you think is the right view?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. But I think I should first correct an impression. There are two, if you summarize all the power in the world, there are two positions you put them. Incidentally, political is not the first. As in, let's leave and this is removing the spiritual power, like maybe the divine power now. I'm talking about on planet Earth. The first one is economic power. Economic power is what pushes everybody, even everyone in politics. If you dig deep to the best of their heart, the reason why a president wants to become a president is the economic advantage that comes with the office of the presidency. Now, after economic power, we can now position political power. So I would tell you economic wealth is the major drive of man before political wealth or power. And that's why when people don't get political power, you will automatically see that everybody in the world seeks economic wealth, but not everybody in the world seeks political wealth. Now, and why is it like this? Very simple. Every human wants to control the circumstances of his life. I want to be able to wake up, decide what I will eat without Mr. Debo having to know about it. I want to be able to control the outcomes and the circumstances around my life within my territory. Because that is the key. Every man seeks economic proficiency power. So if you ask me on a platter now, I would say, don't go into politics first. Why not use your tested principles to go and work it out in an area of life? Become economically empowered, and then you can now delve into politics. By that, you will not be a politician, you will be a leader. That's in one part. And I understand that there are a lot of emotional dynamics that clouded the leadership sphere in Nigeria. And trust me, if there's a nation I was actually referring to deeply when I was saying there's a lot of emotions, a lot of expressions, a lot of expectation, if there's a nation he really resonated with, Nigeria is one of them. Argentina is another very popular example. And the reason why I'm saying this is that when we start running a system that follows after confidence above competence, you're running trouble. It's only a matter of time. When you run a system that loves charisma, activity, above character and accomplishment, you are building another trouble. Number three, when you're running a system that has a narcissistic personality, selfish, self-centered ambition, above a compassionate ambition about the people, then we cannot be defining the concept of politics and governance and economics again. Because what we have successfully created as a system in some developing nations, and even America has some fair share of this evil I'm talking about, where you start having people with high confidence but no stuff. Buhari, high confidence, no competence. High charisma, activity, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. But when character was tested, there was nothing. And we thought he was a compassionate person who would, and I'm sorry to use politics, I could have said this if it had been Atiku or any other person. So please forgive the politics part of it. I just chose a leader so that you can understand what I'm saying and to put a figure to it. Donald Trump was also a very terrible one at that. And I'm sure if I said this in America, maybe except for people who love him. But for you to get what I'm saying, and for you to get it well, please, at any point where you're schooling people in competence, it is good to add confidence to it, but competence ahead of confidence, please. So if I get your question clearly, as a Christian or a devout Muslim, you're scared of going into politics because you know they can model things up for you. I will say yes, they will model things up for you because you are not in a terrain that supports competence ahead of confidence. So if you are going to go, you must have strengthened yourself in a field of life where you are already successful with your principles. You have grown to maturity. And that by the time you're getting into politics, even if they will mess you up, it will still not destroy your character to that level. I met Mohamed Pate, former Minister of State for Health in Nigeria, in Durban in 2018, February. And he told me classically well, you must know your worth within government and outside government. And at any point where within government your worth will be destroyed, it's better you step out of that government. And that was why he resigned. Then, if you remember. So what I'm saying is, make sure you're successful grabbing an economic power in one field of life. Use that platform to train yourself so that by the time you're going into politics, even if they would destroy your credibility, it will be minimal. Yemi Oshibajo would have been an excellent example that I would use. Incidentally, I don't know the position for now, but let me just say classically, he had demonstrated success for himself as a professor of constitutional law. You cannot take that away from him. He has built a successful business and a successful career as a pastor. No matter all the dents you want to add from this thing to him, yes, you will have something to say. But by the time this is done, he will still have to dust himself and rebrand himself again. But so the idea is go for economic power, be successful in that. Even when you now delve into politics, you will know that you are going into something that is upside down, that doesn't work the proper way. So it will help you to know how to go into it and the limits to which to go into it. But that we must not go into politics is a lie. If you don't go, a political legislator, a legislation in Nigeria can upturn and make your life miserable. So to be able to checkmate evil, we must go into politics, but we must be smart enough to learn rapidly, learn good character, so that by the time we get there, we can minimize the evil there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And that brings me to the end of my own question. For people still around, we appreciate you. This is becoming longer than we planned.
Expected. So I understand.
I don't know if any other person has any question before. I'm sure this won't be the only time we'll be learning from the wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience of Dr. Joshua. But we will need to release him. We need to allow him go too now. But before then, do we have question for him? Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Samuel DK, Ayodele Tunola. Okay,
and even anyone on the WhatsApp platform, since we'll eventually get this video out and I'll
we will send it. We will still send it to the WhatsApp. So if there are questions from the WhatsApp platform, then you can still answer that too later.
And I will have the permission of everyone to also upload this video on my YouTube channel, if you don't mind, please. You would also do that on your channel, but
yes, sir. Granted, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So do we have questions for Dr. Joshua? Apart from the ones that have been asked already, I think we've had like 8 questions already. So if you don't have any question, you can just unmute your mic and just say 1 or 2 things. Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Samuel, then Ayodele Tunola, you can just unmute yourself, say 1 or 2 things before we round off the session. Are we still here? Hello. So, okay. Mr. Damilola, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there still anything that you have for Dr. Joshua? I'm sure you really enjoyed the video like I did. And then I'm sure you learned from the question and answer session 2. Do you still have anything you want to add or you want to ask before we end this particular session 2?
I'm okay for now. I'll need to digest everything I've gotten tonight.
Okay,
So,
I'm actually very happy that
Um,
the question and answer session is recorded too. So that means people that have not watched the video will just watch the video and watch the question and answer session 2. And if they now have their own question too, we'll create an avenue for them to be able to ask.
exactly, sir.
So thank you so much. I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, sir.
If there's one part of the video that I need you to take very importantly is this slide that talks about discipline and battle rhythm. Please, if anyone is going to listen, I would urge you, listen to this part very well with all your minds open and understand that life is a battle for space, for territory. You are either in the pursuit of economic or political power. And the reason is simple. You want to be able to create change or have control over circumstances in your life. And the day you stop engaging in the fight, that day you qualify for captivity in that area. And when you do not fight for what you want, what you don't want will quickly settle in. Therefore, you must be in an active battle rhythm all the days of your life, except you have not made up your mind to be a leader or you're not pursuing success and greatness. That means you're already a convenience-seeking person. And so we will leave you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I actually jotted that discipline and battle rhythm, and I even put the time, 32 minutes, 40 seconds, that I need to go back and understand that. I actually wanted to even ask a question on it before, but thank you for bringing us back to that. I really appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome.
So once again, we are so honored to have you with us, sir. People like you are the reason why we are inspired and we just want to do all we can to grow and to see how we can reach out and learn more and see the little we can contribute back to. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. Please keep evolving, keep fighting on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Damlola. It's so good to know you.
Same here, sir.
All right. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend and then great week ahead. That's the last week of the year.
Yes, sir.
Keep fighting. Keep positioning more. When you are now in the right position, then fight properly.
No.
Yeah. So God will show us all wisdom. Enjoy.
Amen. All right, sir.